Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are taking our first look at the Odin, the new Tier 7 premium German battleship. It's the campaign reward this month, so make sure that you get into that if you want this ship. Now, before we get started, let's just go over the commander. We've got Andrew Cunningham, we've got Franz von Hipper, and we've got Henry Hyde is our actual captain. Those are my inspirations, obviously. We've got Flammable Cannoneer, we've got Alidad, we've got Marksmanship, and we've got Master Mechanic. Because we get 2 extra repair charges with the Master Mechanic because we are a level 16. And then, of course, running with scissors, which gives us better rudder shift and traverse speed of the main guns. It does increase your dispersion a little bit, but it's not that bad. Alright, so the stats of the ship. If we go to upgrades and loadout, you'll see that I have aiming systems mod 1, we have steering gears mod 2, we've got target acquisition mod, and we have main battery mod 3. For the loadout, you can see I'm running the new spotter plane rather than the old plane. This gives us the bonus of 10% better dispersion. And I don't know if that's supposed to be 10% better dispersion or 10% better sigma. I'm not sure, but you get a boost to your overall gun performance while it's in the air. It only lasts 30 seconds and reloads in over 3 minutes. So yeah, I've got 4 of them, but you don't usually get through all 4 of them. Sonar, we got 3.5 kilometer detection of torpedoes and a 5 kilometer detection of ships. 5 kilometers, not too shabby. It's really good actually, but you know, the Bismarck gets a 6 kilometer detection of ships, so that's why I say it's not too shabby. It lasts 100 seconds and reloads in 171 seconds. We get 2 of them. Now you can see I'm running the epic booster here for the range and movement speed and all of that. And we've got community contributor flag, and it comes with its permanent camo. Stats, 66,090 hit points, which is more than it gets on PC, if I remember correctly. On PC, I believe this thing gets 50-something, and it's a tier 8. It's a tier 7 here, and it gets more hit points. The torpedo damage reduction is less than the Iowa's at 22 instead of 25. We've got artillery. It has 9 305mm guns, which is a nice little change from the Scharnhorst. They're more powerful and you get more of them. They reach out to 18.8 with this build, and they reload in 17.6 seconds, so it feels pretty good. The only real issue that I have, and the 180-degree turn time isn't bad at 28.9 seconds. It's pretty good for a battleship. 3,600 maximum HE shell damage with a 27% chance to set fire, and AP at 9,400 damage if you Citadel things. But I haven't really had a chance to Citadel much other than cruisers, and cruisers you absolutely wallop. Secondary armament. It has 12 128s, and it has 6 150s. They reload pretty well, and they reach out to 5.8 kilometers with this build. So there's potential there to get it out to like, 8 kilometers or so if you max it out. If you want to go that route, don't think it's needed. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Torpedoes. You get 8 torpedoes, 4 on each side, and they reload in 90 seconds. And they have a maximum damage 13,700 and a maximum range of 6 kilometers with a 64 knot top speed. So yeah, torps are pretty German. They're nothing special, but you have them, and that's a big thing up close and personal, as anybody who has ever been in German ships know. Now, maximum speed with our current build and the booster, we're at 30.9 knots, which is respectable. I mean, that's with most of the dispersion perks, so the fact that we're able to keep it over 30 knots is terrifying. Turning circle, still very good at 790. Not quite Alabama, but very, very good for a battleship. Rudder shift time, 11.2, also very good for a battleship. Concealment, 14.6 kilometers, which is pretty good for a battleship. Detectability by air is 12.2, and detectability in smoke is only 11.9. So if you get a smoke screen, you can actually get a chance to use it, unlike most battleships. Now, ironclad, above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration. Fast, above average maximum movement speed. This kind of feels like a Gneisenau in the movement aspect, okay? It's not quite as tanky as you would like if you go broadside on at close range. Like, you would expect the turtleback armor to protect you, but as you're going to see in the video coming up, that you're going to realize real quick that giving your flat broadside while you try to get the torpedoes off, probably not the best play. So, yeah, we'll talk about that when we get into the gameplay. Modest guns, it's got low caliber main battery guns at 305. One of the draft designs for a relatively small, high-speed battleship that preceded the construction of the Scharnhorst class ship. This ship was primarily distinguished by her more powerful main battery comprising of 305mm guns. She was designed in 1935, never built. So, let's take a look at her. First of all, good-looking ship. Germans and Americans really do have some good-looking ships, man. It's just that's a good-looking ship. And the rear guns actually have a really good firing angle too, so you don't have to give a huge broadside to get that rear gun involved. But as you can see, she's a good look, and I like the camo too. I really do. It's not over the top. It's nothing crazy. Just nice and clean. So, with that being said, let's get to the gameplay. Alright, so we are going to be on Haven, and we're going to be on Domination. Now, one thing I will mention about this thing that I've noticed in the first few games, now, don't get me wrong, this is a very early first look. It's not an in-depth review. I always try to get these out as quickly as possible for you guys. This is going to be a decent damage game, not an amazing game, and it's going to showcase a lot about the goods and the bads of the ship, which is why I chose it. So, keep that in mind. Alright, this is very early, so everything that I say about my feelings of the ship so far are up for debate, okay? So, first of all, we're going to move over to the right side. Now, what I like to do in these sort of ships, these German ships, is utilize cover and move in. Because the closer you get in, the better off you are as far as the amount of damage that you can deal without receiving. And anytime you're in a German battleship, that's your #1 priority. Because of your amazing secondaries, because of your better armor scheme for when you get into battles, the closer you get, the better your armor gets, that sort of thing. Because of that, you definitely want to make sure that you're utilizing cover to get close. Because the problem with me playing like the Bismarck and the Tirpitz and all of that is just that they lose so much health on their way to get to the enemy that by the time you get there, it's generally not a good day. But as you can see, we take our first shot at the King George. Now we're using the spotter plane right now to get the bonus to the dispersion, so that's supposed to help our grouping and whatnot. But this Wichita is going to find out real quick that you can't go broadside to this thing. Sure, he gets away with it this time, but you literally can't. Like, the Wichita's strength in its armor is through the bow and the stern. It's 27mm, so you don't have to worry about getting citadel while you're bow tanking. But if you're broadside on, you're fair game, and there goes all his health, getting 2 citadels. So you can see against cruisers, it's very, very good. Especially if they're broadside on. If they're bow tanking, he's gonna have a hard time just due to the fact that it's got basically no penetration. And also, as you can see, shooting the battleship over there, the King George isn't angled very well at all, and we actually only got 1 penetration, shattering the other 2 rounds. Which brings me to my other issue that I've had with German battleships in the past, which is not only are they inaccurate, but then when you do actually hit something, your guns are so incredibly annoying because the shells just bounce or they shatter off the enemy. It's frustrating. And this Amagi has wandered into the kill zone. Now, this is where I say we are giving him way too much angle, okay? We know that that's a thing. Now, also, I needed to realize that he was going to run aground and fire these torpedoes a long time ago, but I didn't do that. And now that we are about to take an absolute paddling while we're watching our torpedoes, instead of shooting the man, we're watching our torpedoes hit, and he's going to unleash holy hell on me and take me out, or at least over half my health in one salvo. Now, I didn't see if we got Citadel there. Maybe if you guys pause and go back when he hits me, you'll be able to see if we got Citadel. But it felt like we got Citadel. It could have just been the fact that we were broadside to 10 406 or 410 millimeter guns at point blank range, like a complete dubbus. Yeah, that's my new word, dubbus. You guys know what it means. Anyway,
let's see the difference. So this is a salvo on the surface without.
We have royally screwed ourselves up to this point. Our team is going to be able to deal with the Wichita, and we're going to push over here to start capturing B. It's a domination match. We're here. Why not start capping, right? So that's what we're going to do. Now, you may also notice that we have MV Retro in the house. Retro is in the Isla. He's out ahead of me on the left side. And now that we are kind of open, you'll see that we're trying to take shots. That was a horrible shot at the Kutuzov. I was expecting them to kind of get stuck together a little bit longer. And so, yeah, not preferable. But it is a thing. Now, here I'm going to beach myself, but I'm going to do so behind this island so that I'm not able to be shot. This will allow me to heal up a little bit, get some of my health back that we threw away. It's also going to allow me to capture the base without having somebody reset me, because I'm in a battleship. If I pull out behind this island, I'm detected, somebody going to reset me pretty quick. So we want to get the base captured before we get involved with the enemies. Also, we're in a very, very good position that if these guys start to push out, like it appears that the Tirpitz and the Bismarck are wanting to do, that's going to put us in a perfect place to give us a full, like, broadside crossfire on these guys. So that's what that's the plan. We're waiting for them to come out behind the island so that we can actually utilize our spotter plane and get that better dispersion. And you'll get to see a little bit better what this thing is capable here in these sort of ranges. Yes, this thing can shoot out to like 18 kilometers, but I don't recommend firing at those ranges because you're just not going to hit much of anything. Now you can see Bismarck here just kind of cruising forward a little bit. We go ahead, fire the guns, and he's kind of slowing down to a reverse. So we get one penetration and that's it. Now Tirpitz, he's going full ham. He's like, I can do this. Unfortunately for him, he's about to get absolutely touched by MV Retro. And we're going to go ahead and throw our spotter plane up. We got a nice broadside shot, center of mass, beautiful hit, destroying one of his main batteries in the process. 5 penetrations there. So yeah, that may have actually been a useful time for the spotter plane. That was a very good shot. Now, obviously, we've not changed our look at him, so we keep shooting in the same area that he just went through, and this time we're not as lucky. We still get a decent hit, but not as good as the last. And then, of course, Retro is about to touch him, or I say he's about to touch him, but he turns broadside on, because obviously he's a Tirpitz. He's trying to get his torps off. Everybody knows it. Nobody's worried whatsoever, and as he goes broadside on, it's just not going to end well for him. So you can see I'm getting ready. There it is. Actually, it was the other Iowa. He did get touched early, but Bismarck is the one that gets touched by Retro. And there you see it. There's like 15,000, 20,000 damage right there. And of course, him giving us this much broadside, we're able to finish him off for another 7,000. So the guns are kind of hit or miss. It's just like any other battleship for the Germans that I've played so far at high tiers. I like this more than I did the Scharnhorst. The Scharnhorst just seemed like, yes, it was extremely tough, but those guns were so underwhelming versus anything with armor. This, you at least have a chance against armor, but I recommend if anything's bow tanking you to just switch to the high explosive. It doesn't seem like it does much when you're trying to hit the superstructure of battleships with these, because when they overpin, they just don't do much of anything. And you can see, even against Richelieu, who's slightly angled, it just shatters the rounds. It doesn't really do anything. So, highly recommend switching back and forth. The quick reload time is going to allow you to do that pretty well. And as we get ready to push up here, I was thinking of going after the Kutuzov here, but then I was like, okay, there's a battleship headed straight for him. Like, this is no problem whatsoever for an Iowa. It's actually retro in the Iowa, and I wish I had kind of went with him over here, because I started pushing towards the Richelieu, and you can see I'm kind of checking my range out right there, 18.83 with the booster active. So yeah, there's little things that I do in matches that I forget about sometimes, that you just to test out you're testing a new ship. You don't know the capabilities yet, so you gotta do certain things to kind of test that. Now Richelieu gets a pretty good hit on us, and as we're sailing towards him, I'm thinking Kutuzov was going to come around this side, and then Kutuzov went the other way, and Retro and the Kutuzov are kind of dancing over there, close quarters, which is not preferable. But he's got a cruiser there as an escort as well that should hopefully be able to do some damage to him. And you can see me and this cruiser are kind of just bumping each other. Is what it is. It's mostly my fault, but at the same time, it was just like, whatever. We're not in any danger whatsoever. The Kutuzov's the only thing left, and so right now my initial thoughts on this thing is it's a decent ship. It's not as bad as everybody made it out to be on PC. Everybody like hated it on PC, said it was crap. I don't think it's crap. It's definitely better in my mind than the Bismarck, but that doesn't take much. So yeah, it's definitely a serviceable ship. If you like your German battleships, you're gonna like this. It's another option at the tier 7 for you guys. And honestly, I want to see more people using them. It's going to be interesting, because while we get 2300 base XP, I think it has potential to do much better than this, obviously, because I'm not the best German battleship player. You guys know this. It's not my thing. But it seems like it's going to be a pretty good ship. Both matches that I played early today have been pretty decent. So if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.